Have you ever tried putting together a complicated piece of furniture only to realize the instruction manual is missing? You're just staring at a giant, messy pile of parts. It's frustrating, and usually it's impossible to get it right. Now, think about the human body. You started out as a microscopic speck. How did that tiny speck know exactly how to assemble trillions of parts to build, well, you? DNA is that instruction manual. It is a dense, microscopic book titled Life, containing every direction needed to build and run your body from scratch. Every physical trait that makes you uniquely you is written down, word for word, inside this biological blueprint. To see how these instructions work, we have to look at the cells that make up your body. Think of each cell as a bustling factory where the manual is read and the building actually happens. In complex life, these factories have a secure central vault called the nucleus. It protects the DNA manual from the main floor's chaos. Simple organisms, like bacteria, lack this vault, so the DNA manual floats freely in the workspace. Whether the factory has a high-security vault or an open layout, the fundamental task remains the same: housing the code that makes life possible. If this manual contains enough information to build an entire human, nature has to find a way to fit it all inside a microscopic space. In the early 1950s, James Watson and Francis Crick spent months trying to figure out how the physical pieces of this manual actually fit together. They used metal plates and rods to calculate the exact distance between the components, looking for a shape that could hold vast amounts of information while remaining incredibly compact. They found that the manual is shaped like a long ladder twisted into a spiral. This shape, the double helix, allows 6 feet of DNA code to be coiled and packed into a single, tiny cell. This twisted design provides the stability needed to keep the code secure while taking up the smallest amount of room possible. Untwisting the ladder shows outer rails holding the structure, with instructions on the center rungs. It uses a 4-letter alphabet: A, T, G, C. They follow strict pairing. A locks with T, apples in the tree, and G locks with C, cars in the garage. By stacking these matched pairs in a specific order, nature creates a unique code. That sequence of letters acts as a set of coordinates for every trait in a living organism. But how does a static code in a vault actually turn into a living, breathing body? The factory makes a temporary copy of one page of the DNA book, which we call RNA. Think of this as a biological sticky note that carries the instructions out of the vault. That sticky note travels to the factory floor, where it's used to build proteins. Proteins are the physical materials that do the actual work of being alive. These proteins become the physical reality of the code. Some might form the hard structure of a fingernail, while others become the specific pigments that catch light to give you blue eyes. This is how biology works. Code becomes a copy. A copy builds a protein, and the protein becomes you. Every living thing on Earth uses this same 4-letter alphabet. A tree, a dog, and a human are all built from the same code, just arranged in a different order. Let's recap the 5 things we've learned. DNA is the manual. It's kept in vaults. It's shaped like a twisting ladder. It uses AT and GC pairs, and it builds the proteins that make up your body. But your body is constantly growing. What happens when a cell has to copy this entire manual to put into a new factory without making a single typo? We'll look at that next time. For now, just imagine that right at this second, trillions of cells are reading and protecting your instructions perfectly.